Hey, what's up, Starcraft 2 fans? This is Lasercorn with Mahalo Video Games, and we are casting the final matchup of the Zotac Cup number 59. So that is a weekly tournament that happens, and there's a €100 prize pool, I believe. Like I said, if I'm wrong, correct me in comments. But yeah, I think that's the prize pool. And our players are Bratok and Aristeo here on Jungle Basin. And Aristeo, interestingly enough, I believe is rolling random because he had one matchup where he was a Zerg and two where he was a Protoss from looking at the replays. So yeah, gutsy move, especially in a tournament with money involved, and he did make it to the final round. I assume he was rolling random the whole time. So very interesting play from that player. And it looks like Bratok going to be throwing down a barracks at 12 supply right after his supply depot went down. So yeah, Jungle Basin, let's talk about that for a second. You've got these two expansions here in the middle that were designed pretty much to force a confrontation, as they're not very far from each other, and in between them, the two Xel'Naga watchtowers hidden behind those hedges, which make for a great place to set up siege tanks or a nice proxy pylon, maybe. So we'll have to see what these two players decide to do. You see their scouts passing each other right there, and yeah. Always like seeing a nice TvP matchup. I like the Colossi for the Protoss. I don't play Protoss, but I like seeing the Colossi strut around, especially when players get creative and march them up cliffs and attack stuff that you wouldn't expect Colossi to attack. Although you don't see too many players doing that, just because Colossi are expensive units and not fun to lose. You can see the orbital command morphing in here, as it well should, so you can get those mules out. The SCV going to work on this pylon. And before things get too heated, I want to take a minute, plug the Lasercorn challenge. Email me, lasercorn@mahalo.com, with your BattleNet name and character code, and if I select you to play, we play for a $50 gift card to GameStop. So do that if you get a chance. And yeah, back to the action. And it looks like we've got warp gate technology coming out for our Protoss player that allows you to warp to any pylon, anywhere, anytime. And if I had to guess, I would say our Protoss player might be thinking about setting up a proxy pylon up here and then warping units across this little divide. An excellent strategy. Allows you to just bypass these rocks right here and come up this side ramp into your opponent's base. It's a very good strategy used by Protoss on this map. But right now the probe just appears to be hanging out. So I could be mistaken about that. And got a stalker checking out those Xel'Naga watchtowers. Good strategy. Allows you to maintain map control. And the Terran player has figured out what Aristeo is up to. So Bratok sends an SCV up here and says, hey, wait a second. I realize that this ground isn't higher than this ground, and if there were a pylon here, units could warp right across. And so shut down and denied that probe will not be building any pylons up around there. Unless I am wrong and a stalker comes up and shoots that SCV. But meanwhile, we've got the Terran player moving out with Marines and Marauders. A Marauder, I'm sorry. As well as an SCV. I wonder if we're going to see some kind of bunker set up. A lot of times that is why the SCV comes along, to build a bunker and harass your opponent. And, oh no, that stalker gets slowed down by that Marauder concussive shell that is already finished. So yeah, he does have a attached tech lab right there. You can see on his other barracks he has a reactor that allows him to pump out Marines faster, 2 at a time, as it were. And it looks like he might try to charge this ramp. Not a good move with this sentry there. He's probably going to get cut off by force fields. Let's see. Will the force field go down? Yes. And he traps these units up here to pick away at them with his stalkers. And that one Marauder using the Marine that was on the high ground to spot for him and actually doing some damage. And it looks like Protoss player warping in reinforcements now. Will he be able to hold off this attack? Yes, he should. He's got 3 Zealots, 3 Stalkers, and a Sentry. That should be enough to hold off 3 Marines and 3 Marauders. I would imagine those Protoss units a little tougher. And look at this, he did manage to get the proxy pylon set up, so he can warp. You can see the blue area right there extends into the base of the Terran player. and he already has an expansion coming down. Oh no, this could be a disaster. You could see those units warping in right now, and here they come. Oh boom, SCV goes down immediately. He doesn't even bother focusing on the command center. He just comes up into the base of Bratok, but Bratok is there with Marines and Marauders, and oh, look at this pincer move. The units that had engaged earlier are coming up the front ramp, while these units come up the back ramp. But I don't know if it's going to be enough. Bratok did bring his SCVs in there to tank damage, and he does have a bunker finishing. 2 Marauders going into that bunker now, and it looks like this Protoss attack might fail. Those SCVs really need to get to work attacking, doing something. Okay, good, and it looks like this attack will be foiled, but oh my goodness, 4 more Zealots coming in to do work on this, or deconstruction work on this, this Bratok command center up here. And what Bratok really needs to do is figure out a way to shut down this pylon. Even more units warping in. 3 sentries. Not sure if I agree with that choice in unit selection. What are you going to do with 3 sentries? Oh, I see. Cut off any retreat back up that ramp. And now these units separated from their brethren and getting picked off by those Zealots. And once those Zealots have you backed into a corner, not a lot you can do. All those concussive shells slowing down the Zealots and slowing down the sentries, making them easy pickings for those Marines and Marauders on the high ground. Look at that, more units coming in, and it looks like this command center might go down. And there's the cancel on the command center, so the Terran player says, screw it, I'm done trying to defend that half-built command center up there. He needs to take out this pylon, or he needs to counterattack. Not sure if a counterattack would be the right move right now. Oh, hey, look at this, we've got our Reaper running around. Maybe the Reaper can go back there and take out that pylon. I don't know. Reapers do a lot of damage to structures. But here come the Zealots up that ramp. Or the Protoss, all the Protoss units up that ramp. And they are sneaking by the main fortifications here. They're sneaking by that bunker and into the main base. Getting attacked now by SCVs while the Marines and Marauders come from behind, but they are doing a lot of damage. Seem to be focusing on the SCVs, ignoring the Marines and Marauders that are attacking him. He just wants to do as much damage to the economy as possible, and let's see how much damage he did there. Wow, down to 6 Harvesters. That is not good for the Terran player. He needs to counterattack hard, or maybe even all in at this point. 7 Harvesters to 30. I'm not sure how you come back from that kind of economic deficit. But it looks like he's going to try. He's moving out to the Xel'Naga Watchtower, and I'm not sure why the Protoss player isn't pressing his advantage, warping in more units. That proxy pylon is still standing. If I were the Protoss player, I would be warping in more units, trying to go after this weakened Terran player whose economy just got shut down hard by your last attack. But at the same time, Aristeo did lose a whole bunch of his attacking forces, so maybe that contributed to him not wanting to push his advantage any further. And actually, okay, with these addition of these 2 or 3 more Stalkers, I think it's even up. But it looks like the Terran player had a little advantage. Now I would give it to the Protoss. Aristeo could probably defend this attack, I would say, especially with those sentries there. You can see the Terran player trying to force a force field to go down prematurely there by running 2 units up the ramp, and he thought he could only get 2 stuck. But no, his units do get chopped in half. Excellent play by the Protoss. The Zealots warping in now to take care of these units up top, but he's got to be careful when he warps in Zealots, because the Zealots have to attack close range and can get hit by those Marines and Marauders that are still at the bottom of the ramp. Zealots now tanking damage, but excellent falling back and attacking, dropping back, hitting H to hold position and do some damage. That kind of Marine Marauder micro is what separates good players from great players. And wow, this battle closer than I anticipated. Looks like down to 1 Marauder and 1 Stalker. The Stalker barely wins out, but look at this, reinforcements coming in for the Terran, and that Stalker might just die. Oh no, force field's coming down to try and trap that player now, but stim up and run away. And he really needs to get tech up to a factory or a starport. I'm sorry, a factory and a starport, so that he can get medvacs and heal the damage that your stim is doing. Because even if you do have one of these infantry heavy builds, you still need something to heal your stim pack damage. So I'm not sure why we're not seeing that quite yet. Looks like both players are on one base. Our Protoss player is trying to expand to his natural expansion down here. The proxy pylon has been taken out. Oh, we must have missed that during the combat. But the proxy pylon is gone, so this location is once again safe for the moment. He might want to build a supply depot up here or something to stop, or or at least spot if any more units are coming across there. And good move taking map control away from Aristeo by sending out a Bratok Marine to that Xel'Naga watchtower. But oh no, the Marine's going to have to contend with the Stalker. And Marine versus Stalker, not a good scenario for the Marine, but a juke move going down there, and the Marine gets away with the help of that stim pack. Looks like, yeah, he is going to escape. So the Marine escapes, but Aristeo maintains control of the Xel'Naga watchtower. Actually, I was going to say both, but it looks like he's only got one right there. And so he's got a little 4-gate going on here in his main base. Modified 4-gate, I guess, with the Robo Bay. And our Terran player is throwing up his command center, but he's behind as the nexus of the Protoss Aristeo is already up, and he's main-arting probes down there. Excellent strategy. Once your main base gets saturated and actually almost mined out, you do want to get probes onto your second base as quickly as possible. We see our Terran player doing the same thing, although only with a few SCVs. He really should throw some more on there. Looks like kind of a late wall off too, or maybe not even a complete wall off. He just wants a bunker at his front ramp for protection. Terran player getting defensive here, and I'm not sure he's getting defensive in the correct way. If he wants to get defensive, he should have something spotting, even a Marine over here, to make sure that our Protoss player doesn't set up that deadly proxy pylon that can just jump units across that little divide. Here we go. Okay, so an SCV is kind of scouting the area, I guess, or hanging out up there to make sure nothing untoward is going on. I think I used that word correctly, I'm not sure. Okay, and now he's sending a Marine there too. Mules coming down. Let's check the income of these two players. Wow, 25 harvesters against 41, and you could see it's hurting Bratok in the minerals per minute. But whoa, some mules showed up and completely negated what I just said, as he evens things out economically. Colossus now on the field for Aristeo, and is he getting that upgraded thermal lance? Yes, that thermal lance allows him to stay out of range of this bunker so long as he can actually hit this bunker and stay out of range so long as he has a unit spotting. So if he has an observer or something getting him vision up this ledge, then he can actually stay out of range and snipe the bunker. Bratok would be forced to lift off or elevator his units onto the ground to fight the Colossus, as he has no Vikings yet, and he's not building any Vikings, and he's up against the Colossus. So that's that could be trouble. Although stimmed Marauders, if played correctly, can take down Colossi quite effectively. And I only do see one Colossus out, although there's another one on the production tab. And actually, I'm sorry, there's two out. One is in transit. Looks like he's using his factory for scouting right now, and he runs right into a bunch of Stalkers. And those Stalkers doing a lot of damage to the factory. It's in the orange. Will it drop into the red? It is in the red. That factory's on fire, and yes, you can see the Colossus outranging. What is he using to spot? Does he have an observer up there? Oh, maybe the Colossi can just spot because they're so tall. They can just spot up that ramp. And that barracks is going to need to lift off. And now lasers going down on that bunker, and two Marauders running up, but I don't know if that's going to be enough to drive off the Colossi. And I am wrong, that is enough to drive off the Colossi. Wow, and actually take down one of the Colossi. And now that provokes the Protoss to come up full force. Good force fields to separate, well, mediocre force fields to separate these units, as they do just kind of come around the end of the force fields here. And a lot of damage being done by the Colossi, but all the Colossi are down now. Vikings are on the field, shutting down the Colossi, and he's down to just gateway units, sentries, stalkers, and zealots against all these Terran units. The Terran losing more SCVs, and he cannot afford to lose more SCVs. You could see how far before he was behind in the economic gain. And oh my god, he lands those Vikings right on top of the Protoss units. Meanwhile, I'm sorry, I didn't even see it, but a Terran attack has come through here, swept through while that was going on, wiped out the Protoss expansion in a deadly, deadly counterattack. And so both players sustaining heavy casualties here, as the Terran counterattack is actually now the only attack that's active, as the Protoss player has been chased off. And he loads back up into his medvac as these units come back to deal with this threat. All mining is stopped here, which isn't really a big deal. He only has one mineral field with 60 minerals in it, but the bigger deal is that this nexus has been destroyed, and oh my goodness, he is in serious trouble now as his economy has been shut down. Suddenly, our Terran player from going from defending himself from that attack, has put himself in an excellent position with that nice counterattack. And actually, yes, he's forced an all-in from the Protoss player. He's bringing his probes. He knows the Protoss player can't afford to long-distance mine long enough to get another Nexus up. That would be the only way he'd get enough minerals to put another Nexus up. He knows he can't afford that much time in long-distance mining. So here comes the all-in from the Protoss player. If this doesn't succeed, he loses. And here we go. Aristeo attacking the forces of Bratok. Our random player Aristeo coming in here, and if he succeeds here, he might be able to shut down the Terran player and actually take this game away. We'll have to see what happens. SCV's coming in to tank damage, I'm sorry, and excellent micro, keeping those Marauders out of range of those deadly lasers. Will it be enough, though? Oh, more Marauders joining the fray, coming out of those barracks, and the Protoss player needs to act much more quickly than he is acting, maybe even shut down this expansion up here and force the Terran player Bratok to come after him down on the low ground. Here we go. Those Marauders moving forward. Good micro of the Colossus. And the Colossus actually doing a lot of damage to these Marauders. One of the Marauders forced to run away. And will he be able to do this? Oh my goodness, this will be one of the first all-ins I've seen in a long time that actually works, if it does work. No, but the Colossus goes down. And it looks like this all-in is going to fail. And it looks like Aristeo is doomed. There's the GG. Random player Aristeo. Such a good all-in at the end there. I thought he was going to take it for a minute. But he does not manage to pull it off, and Bratok takes the game.